Hello everyone, this is Funds with Good Funds, and welcome to another video back on the channel. Hopefully you can't hear that construction in the background, but if you can, I'm just gonna apologize and hope that I can cover it with music. So today we're gonna be talking about Song Mino, aka Mino from Winter, and Mino the man, period, a fucking pinnacle, an icon in K-pop history, period. So we're going to be getting into what his personality is and who he shows himself to the public and who he is truly in private. So starting off with his public image is one thing I'm going to tell you is good Jesus. One thing I'm going to tell you is that he arguably shows more of himself to the public. Hold on. You know what, y'all? We're just going to have to embrace what the fuck is going on and hope that whoever is building what they are building enjoys what the fuck is built. Damn it. And of course, as soon as I'm talking all that shit, never mind. Anyways, arguably, Mino shows more of his true self and his real personality to the public. But as for why, it doesn't necessarily feel like to me like it's some sort of super smart genius tactic. It just genuinely feels like he might actually feel more connected to the world on a collective global scale rather than he would be to himself in, the recesses and safety of his apartment, if that makes any sense. So jumping straight into it is Two of Wands, Reverse, King of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. Is that he does have this sense of he doesn't necessarily know who he is, but I'm going to try not to overwhelm you. So you know what? To get into it, I'm going to read the second pile, who he truly is, and the overalls, and then we'll just kind of get the ball rolling. Keep talking. So Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, the Emperor in Judgment, and the overalls, Ace of Swords, the Hierophant, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, King of Wands, Nine of Cups, Two of Swords, and the High Priestess. So he is the type of person that he might not necessarily know himself completely. He's not necessarily disconnected from his identity, but his relationship with himself is different than other people have with themselves. I would say he is honestly the type of person that rather being confused or scared to really face who he is, he kind of, maybe at times he's a little bit scared, but it more so reads to me that he is the one who is trying to seek and find out how to figure out and understand himself. So for when I said like he's honestly more comfortable in showing himself to the globe, the world, all, billions, millions of eyes, rather than, looking at himself in the mirror and acting like how he would probably interpret he truly is that he can almost even like look back at himself and say, this is how I am, and this is how I was doing back then, or whatever maybe. This is what era he saw Mino as in that time period. If that makes any sense. So with the Two of Wands reverse, just kind of tells me that he shows who he is with intention. He probably would be, I would say, among one of the most real celebrities in K-pop, or there's plenty, but in that sphere, that makes any sense. He shows the more tired part of himself whenever he's knocked down and needs to rest, and expresses, sometimes whenever his mental is not in the best of spaces. He expresses and shows that, even though he does have this wealth, it's not necessarily something he takes for granted, but it's also not something that he sees the need to not enjoy and utilize. His relationship to money is just kind of different. He all around is just kind of a bit of a different person, but doesn't mean he's the only person on this planet that's like this. King of Swords, he is very methodical, intentional. He knows when to step forward to be a leader, but yet so also he knows when to step back and play his part. But the thing characterized with the swords here for him just feels like he knows how to play a role, but on the inside he feels that he doesn't really fit in anywhere. It's kind of like, taking a type of plug from a different country and trying to plug it into the outlet of another country. And even though it might fit, the wattage is different. He himself knows that the wattage is different, but it's enough to turn the device on. If that makes any sense. So he feels alienated, and it doesn't even necessarily feel like he's the one who's alienating himself. It just feels like he is different. So getting into who he believes or perceives and might even know who he truly is there are parts of himself that he has not yet unlocked, that he's not yet completely comfortable with confronting, but it doesn't mean that he's not willing to try to step forward and try to see those parts of himself and embrace it. So the more strong-footed, iron fist side of himself is here, is the passion, the go-getter, and the saying, he's knowing when he is sure of himself is there. But yet, so he also knows when to be fair, but he also has no problem standing up and kind of showing his face. He has a lot of duality in himself. What's the word? I would say he very much is just very fluid as a person. So this could also, manifest in his style of clothing. Maybe even how he personally identifies, not so far as to go and try to, put a label on him. But he has a lot of duality and fluidity within him, more so are the words. Ambition, I would say, is probably embedded into, the goals of his soul in his life, or at least this life he's living right now, to go and do things and to kind of try and seek happiness. The relationship in which he sees the world and interacts with it, when I say it's different. He might be the type of person that might even feel and have the idea that he has a higher purpose, but yet does not know what it is that he's trying to fulfill or seek. So when I said that he's probably the type that is constantly seeking advice and counsel, this could be from older people in his life, like spiritual communities and things like this, or spiritual tools. He's explored and he's trying it all because he's trying to put it all together to make it make sense. So overall, I would say he's giving off lots of sage energy. Like he's so much more wise than he might even know that he is. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of vibing with it. Other than that, I don't know. I guess I would just say Mino is a very interesting character. So send me a request over on the blog. Send me a request over here. Drop a like if you would like to, I guess see, hear, read more content like this. If you can't get down with it, get down. Don't get down with Fles. Adios.